Hello everybody. I hope you're finding these videos helpful and you're able to fill out your note packet with the videos. Give me some feedback if you're not, if I'm going too fast or if whatever the case may be. Um, but I'd like to hear from you. Anything. In fact, along those lines, I want to set up a Google Meet if nobody has any conflicts. I'd like us all to get together on a Google Meet on Wednesday at 11 a.m. And I'm going to send that out to you guys. I'll send the link out. Just a quick hello, see how we're doing, see where we're at. What the expectations are going to be from this point forward, how we're going to roll, things like that. So just a quick meeting, nothing that's going to take an hour or even a half an hour or anything like that. Just a hello and and how we're going to proceed from here. All right, and I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully you guys can all make it. All right, let's finish up this chapter here. I know we've already done this, but it's just a quick review of the three basic requirements of an offer: seriously intended, definite and certain, and communicated to the offeree. The offer has to be made with the intentions of entering into a legal obligation. All right, jokes, heat of the moment, these types of things don't meet the requirement of a seriously intended offer. Oops, let me go back. Actually, advertisements aren't offers. We think that they are, and they look like they are, but they're not. Advertisements are really an invitation for the public to come in and do business. And that's where the offer takes place, at the place of the business, not necessarily the advertisements. Unless there are certain words. If it says like first come, first serve, or the first 50 customers will receive a 75% discount, or the first 100 customers will get a $20 coupon or something like that. Then those are legit offers. So typically advertisements are invitations to come in and do business, but unless they have certain language in them, like first come, first serve, or something along those lines. Definite and certain, there can't be anything ambiguous, like the landlord can't say, oh, we'll pay a portion of all plumbing costs. No, a portion is ambiguous, it's not clear, it's not certain. Contracts have to have definite language. And this is where we left off, I think, communications to the offeree. Has to be communicated. I can't offer something to Abby and Anthony pipe in and say, I'll take it. Well, I didn't offer it to Anthony. I offered it to Abby. Right? So it has to be communicated to the offeree in some way. And rewards are like that too. If you didn't know that there was a reward for finding my lost dog, I don't have to pay you. If you did, because it was never communicated to you. If you did know there was a reward for my lost dog, oh, I saw the sign on the pole. Here's your dog, $200. Okay, well, I have to give you $200. All right, that's it was communicated in some way. So let's talk about an acceptance. All right, the unqualified willingness to go along with an offer. The acceptance has to be unconditional. It can't make any changes. If I say I offer to sell you my guitar for $200, and you'll say I'll take it, but at $150. Well, you haven't accepted my offer. What you've done is you've made me a counter offer, and our roles have reversed. Right? An offer can't change the term, or an acceptance can't change the terms of the offer. If it does, it's a counter offer, and then our roles are reversed. Right? So an acceptance is the unqualified, meaning unchanged willingness to go along with the offer. And this kind of could get a little tricky sometimes, the method of acceptance. So when does the official acceptance of an offer happen? Well, if the offeree uses the same method of communication that the offeror used, The contract comes into existence when the acceptance is sent. So, for example, somebody mails me an offer, right? And I am going to accept their offer, right? By mail, the same method. That acceptance becomes valid when I place it in the mailbox, or when I hit send on if it's an email, say I'm emailed an offer, right? It becomes accepted when I hit send on my acceptance reply email, all right? But the snail mail is a better example, right? If somebody mails me an offer, right, and I accept it and by mail, it's when I drop the letter in the mailbox or I deliver it to the mailman. That's when my acceptance actually becomes valid. It's the same method, it's when it's sent. If it's different methods, it's when it is received. I don't know if you can see that down there very well. Right? When the offeree uses a different method of communication than that of the offeror, the contract comes into existence when it is received. So, if somebody calls me on the phone and says, "Hey, I'll sell you my condo, or I'll sell you my boat for $4,000," right? Mail me your acceptance, right? If you accept or reject, because I'm going to be out of town for a little bit. Well, that acceptance doesn't become official until it's received, because it's different methods. In other words, I bring my acceptance to the mailman, I drop it in my mailbox, I drop it off at the post office, it leaves my hand, it goes through the United States Post Office, and when it gets to the recipient, then it becomes officially accepted. Right? So it's the same method of communications as when it's sent. That's why they're in red. Same sent. Right? When it's different methods of communication, it's when it's received. And of course, the reason why we talk about this is because it comes up sometimes. Right? Sometimes there's issues with this. That's what there's lawyers for. If the offeror states in the offer what method is to be used for acceptance, it has to be followed. In other words, it can't say, "Mail me the acceptance," and you email it. Right? It only becomes a valid acceptance if it specifies in there, in the offer, how it is supposed to be accepted. If it's followed, it has to be followed for to be a valid acceptance. If the offeror states in the offer that the method that the offeror must use to accept, that method of acceptance has to be followed. And here's an interesting thing too. An offeror cannot impose silence on the offeree as a means of acceptance. So in other words, I make you an offer. I say, "Listen, I'm offering you my skis for $200. Listen, they're a $500 value. If I don't hear from you, I'll send them to you." Right? I know what you're talking about. If I don't hear from you in a week, I'll just assume that you've accepted my offer. No, you can't do that. You can't accept silence as a method of acceptance. There has to be some action. It has to be expressed or implied some way, right? Or there has to be an act of something. You can't. Silence is not a method of acceptance. And the last thing, how do we terminate an offer? We're going back to offers here. How do offers be terminated? Well, they can be revoked. All right? As long as it's revoked before the acceptance happens. They can just be simply terminated. "I'll sell you my skis for $200. No, thank you." Right? Counter offer ends the first offer. And like we said, the roles reverse. Right? Sometimes there's an expiration of time. Right? Sometimes we put a time limit on things. Listen, I'm going to hold this offer open for you for 2 weeks. All right, then I'm going to move on to somebody else. I'll offer it to somebody else. Well, that 2 weeks expires, then it's termination by expiration of date. And the last one is death and even insanity. If somebody doesn't have the legal capacity to understand what the offer is, all right, then there is actually no valid offer. And obviously, if somebody passes away, then any offer that was out there for him is terminated as well. All right. So listen, what's the expression? Hit me up. Let me know if these videos are helpful, if you're enjoying them or anything like that, and let me know about that Google Meet on Wednesday at 11 o'clock. All right. I will talk to you later. Have a great day. Bye.